Today, there are a lot more distractions even than there were back then, with electronic media just constantly chirping at us and um, trying to get us to look different places and check our email and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, which I think are great tools, but I think we can be distracted by those things.
Where were you born?
A little town called Quincy, Illinois. I'm the youngest of three boys. Pretty much grew up in Texas all the way through college and my early career after college. When I get out of college, that's kind of when this meandering career path started. And I've done, I guess one of the things that's unusual about me is I've done a lot of different things. So I ended up majoring in advertising in college and didn't have an internship in college or anything. So when I got out, I just needed to get a job. So I started working in sales for a huge corporation. Corporate life was just kind of bizarre. For me, it was too big. It was too regimented. But I got some good experience. But while I was doing that, I started to develop as a writer and found myself wanting to get back into the advertising business. And also during that time, I got interested in show business. And so kind of as a parallel, with my regular job, I started performing at comedy clubs, just putting together stand-up comedy routines. But then I started doing some writing and actually ended up as a copywriter. So I worked not only as a writer, but I did a lot of the producing and directing in studio way back when we had, the 33 platters. We had to record off of those. We'd find a good piece of music or whatever. It was just, I know I'm dating myself here, but a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, I did that and loved that creative end of things and started to get excited about show business again. I took some acting classes. And then my life took a complete left turn and I actually went into the ministry.
What possessed you to do that?
Well, my life changed. I came to faith. Decided I really wanted to teach and preach and all of that, and people encouraged me to do so. So I thought, well, I need to get educated theologically. So I went to seminary, and after seminary, ended up moving to California. Of all things, I had a writing job with a radio ministry, and I did that for several years and then went on staff with my church in California. So altogether, I was in ministry for, 15, 18 years. And then we had to move back to Texas to take care of some aging in-laws. There was nobody else really who could do it. So we picked up stakes, came back here. I just had to get a job to put food on the table. And first thing that opened up was selling cell phones with AT&T. It was then Singular, but that got me in the door with AT&T, and now that's who I work for. I do IT project management for their website. I'll probably spend the rest of my life, however long that is, catching up and reading great literature because I missed a lot of it as a kid. I do some blogging and I write. Some of it never gets out there. I just do it for myself. I love film. I really enjoy film and I don't watch movies like most people do. I mean, our whole family, interacts about film. I try to stay in shape. I've been running since I was in my 20s. To me, that's just the easiest way to stay in shape. I mean, just buy an occasional pair of running shoes and shorts and you're good to go. I'm not even sure even at 60 if I've decided what I want to be when I grow up, but maybe that's part of my advice to folks is if you have that drive and that skill and that giftedness, that inclination towards particular things, develop those gifts and try to find a place where you can use them. And you may not make a lot of money right out of the gate, but eventually, if you love what you do, you could end up being very successful.